Project Hail Mary review. Let's get right into this. So to begin, I just want to emphasize by saying spoilers ahead. So if you haven't seen the movie, just be aware of that. If you don't want to get spoiled. Okay, and now to begin, let me just say this: this movie is absolutely fantastic. It's spectacular. This is definitely going to be. I mean, let me just say something. How should I say this? So I had very high expectations as it is, because if you see my videos, pretty much covering Project Hail Mary, it's about two of them, and I'm talking about how the reviews were insane, right? The reactions, the early reactions were insane, and even like the reviews that came out a few weeks ago, absolutely insane. So the bar was set. People were saying this movie's a masterpiece, etc. And yeah, so let me just say, going into the movie, my expectations were sky high, and after having seen it, I'll tell you this: the they did it. They did it. Okay, the movie met my expectations, or met the expectations everyone's been putting, and honestly, it might even be even better than that. It's crazy to say, because uh, I don't know. This movie is wonderful. That's all I'm gonna say. This movie is wonderful. Um, I'd be surprised. Like, this movie's so good to the point where I'd be surprised if yeah, I'd genuinely be surprised if it didn't get a Best Picture nomination, especially since there's 10, right? Like, come on, you're telling me it won't be one of the 10 best movies of the year? Obviously subjective, but you get what I'm saying. Like, come on. Uh, and obviously the performances, well, we'll get into that in a second, but yeah, that's why I kind of want to just start off by saying this movie, uh, this movie is so good that it could. I'm still thinking about it for me. Well, we'll have to see. I have to watch the movie again, but um, this would definitely be a lot of people, especially I guess younger people. This could be their favorite movie of all time, right? When it's all said and done, which is like that's how good the movie is. You know what I mean? So that's pretty insane. And yeah, definitely, yeah, definitely will go down as one of the best movies of this decade, of the 2020s, for sure, 100%. I can't. This movie's absolutely insane. It's wonderful. Um, I guess my best way of comparing it, in terms like for you to understand how I feel about this movie, is by saying I was hoping you would do this, and it successfully did. I wanted it to be my Superman for 2026. What I mean by that is, last year, of course, Superman released, and the feeling that I had after watching that movie, hopeful, inspired, uplifting, just felt like, I don't know, I kind of felt like a different person after watching that movie, right? Hopeful, I think I said that already. And the movie is centered around just obviously like acts of kindness and stuff. But like I feel like overall, like a broader general theme of it was just kind of like humanity and stuff like that. But besides the point, that's what I wanted Project Hail Mary to feel like, and that's exactly what it did. I mean, the best parts of the movie thrive, of course, when you get Rocky and Ryland together, their relationship, their bond, and that's exactly what, like, yeah, that's exactly how I felt after the movie. I'm like, oh my god. And just like Superman, even after the movie ended, I'm like, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I kept on thinking about it, like, wow, this is like, it makes you feel like inspired, hopeful, and especially like I said, both these movies in the current time of the year, or not time, the current, I guess, the way society currently is, right? You need these type of movies where they give you hope and stuff like that. So yeah, it's perfect. And I guess to get into it, to kind of segue into the actual movie, Ryland is lonely. Very lonely, has no one else, and it's even kind of an emphasis in the movie. That's why it's kind of revealed that that's why they actually chose him, right? Like, essentially, that's why the government chose him to send him into space, because he has no immediate family. He doesn't have anything, not even a pet. They mentioned that, so he's expendable. They even from the beginning of the movie they established that he's expendable, right? So yeah, he's lonely, and then you even get to see in the scene. There's a scene of Rocky where, um, yeah, there's talking about loneliness, and also we find out that Rocky is lonely as well. Obviously, he had a whole bunch of people on like his spaceship as well, but guess what happened? All of them died. He was the only one left remaining, so he had no one else. He was trying to get back to his planet. Meanwhile, Ryland was trying to get back to his planet as well, and they had no one else until they both met each other. So that was like the main thing that brought them together, and it's just beautiful the way they do it, right? Oh man, and there's just certain scenes or certain dialogue. I mean, the dialogue in this movie is so rich. It's just you just can't help but smile and even cry at times. It's absolutely beautiful, and you really like the fact that man the fact like this is the best way or another like big thing about this movie is like the way they're able to pull off the fact that uh, a rock used like care so much about a rock. It's kind of insane to think about, right? It is kind of in the way like the Grogu effect from Star Wars. It is kind of weird, but wholesome, of course. Um, yeah, but Rocky's just everything you want Rocky to be. Rocky is, and I'll say this: there, man, I can't believe I knew Rocky was apparently supposed to like something tragic was happening to Rocky, and then he died. I'm like, okay, and I'm like, there's no way this is the end, right? And then I'm like, is this has to be bait, surely? And it turned out to be bait. And then I was interested. I'm like, okay, so what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And then, unless I missed something, he kind of, I mean, he didn't necessarily, I mean, kind of just came back to life in a way. But also, Ryland was like trying to like different testing and stuff to like try to bring him back to life. But like by changing, was it like the hydrogen or something? I might be wrong. Uh, Another part of this movie that I want to talk about the science part. So obviously, it's a science fiction type movie, and with that obviously comes science. Wow, who would have thought? And I was kind of worried about it because I'm like, oh man, science. I've seen some movies where it's pretty advanced type of stuff, right? It's not, I won't say dumbed down, but it's not made simplified for like it's not accessible. Let's say that for a lot of people, including me. Like there's certain movies where I'm like, man, this is like they're cool, but like the dialogue, how am I gonna understand this stuff? Like this is insane. And that was where we're going to this movie. I'm like, how are they gonna navigate the whole like actual like scientific aspect of it? And let me say this: the scientific aspect is handled beautifully. They simplify it, but it still packs a punch. You still understand the stakes of it. Like they're still very high. They literally have to save Earth, right? I mean, in the broader sense, kind of like the world in a way. But long story short, we know the stakes are set. Ryland is like literally the only hope essentially because um, the astronauts that were with him they died, right? And he's the only one left to go on this mission. And obviously, we found out why it's called Project Hail Mary because there's literally like it most definitely will go wrong, which is what it did. And there's a very very small percent that actually will successfully, the mission will actually be successfully completed. And I mean, it just makes for an interesting, like, compelling story because this person is kind of, I mean, shunned, overlooked, right? Just even in terms like by society. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's even moments in the beginning of the movie where the other people that are around him are kind of like laughing at him, right? So it's like having someone like this, and who's, I guess, they don't view themselves as really much, right? They have uh like a low self esteem for themselves, and then the fact that this is the only hope, that this person's the only hope left for to save pretty much humanity is just interesting. That's all I can really say, and the fact that he successfully does it as well. You know what I mean? It's like this is so good. That's all I can really say. And I remember there's a part in the movie where, like, I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, why is the government making it seem like this is voluntary? I'm like, does Rylan not know that this is probably the government gets what they want, one way or another. They get what they want. I'm like, why are they making it seem like he has a choice? Like, does he not know? And then look what happens. There's that scene where they show him literally just getting, yeah, they show him literally just getting injected like by force. Like, no, you're going on this mission, and uh, obviously he's kind of in the moment pissed about that. But we see later on in the movie in the end that he doesn't really have any hard feelings about it because he kind of learned about himself. And let me say this: this is another interesting thing about the movie. We see the beginning of the movie, the way it opens, that it starts while he's on the mission, right? It from well, like the movie picks up. How can I say this? The movie starts from where. How do you know how to describe this? The movie starts while he's on the mission, right? And then he wakes up from a coma and everything. And then we see later in the movie they build up to the coma moment, and there's like two different timelines that they're showing. One where it's the present, and the other where it's building up to him being in the present. showing his like whole life kind of beforehand. And that's because when he wakes up in the beginning of the movie in a coma, he's trying to figure out who he is, remember who he is, and everything like that, right? And as he's figuring this out, he finds Rocky, and he also finds kind of like a new, I guess, love for his life, and it just creates for beautiful moments. And we're seeing that he didn't really like. I mean, up until that point, right? I would assume, at least. I mean, they talked about their mates and stuff, but he never really had anyone in his life like that, like a type of friendship or anything, relationship like that, until Rocky came. And I feel like it's definitely the same for each other, right? For both of them, for Rocky and Ryland. And even when they first interact, it's like, oh man, how's it gonna go? And this is beautiful. This is beautiful. And Rocky is really super intelligent, just absolutely skilled, insane. And yeah, like I really like the parts where I guess this goes to show that this role couldn't go to anyone else. It had to be Ryan Gosling. Like if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. The dialogue, the just a lot of moments in the movie. You're like, yeah, it couldn't have been anyone else. Like this is literally meant for him. It's like they wrote this movie with in mind, or they wrote this movie with casting him in mind. Like the dialogue is absolutely insane. That's most like Ryan Gosling type of dialogue, you know. I'm just happy he's showing up for Canada as well. You know, it's cool to see. But yeah, Rocky, what a great character! What a great character! That's all I can really say. And when you see them doing the like having their fun and stuff, partying, you know, going into like that room where it's like the LED screens or whatever, it's just cool. And then also him, the moment when Rocky starts boarding Ryland's spaceship, and then just like running in here and saying, "Oh man, this is dirty. Like what's going on here? Like dirty, dirty, dirty." It's just hilarious stuff. And also, I found it great when they were first interacting, and you kind of see, obviously they both don't know each other, so they're both kind of scared of one another, like what's going on here, and they slowly develop a friendship, but also like learn a lot about each other and stuff like that. And I found it fascinating the way the whole computer scenes were done, where he's slowly inputting the words from Rocky's like language in order to communicate. I don't know. That was just fascinating stuff to me. And what else was there? They both in the end made sacrifices for each other. That was a big part. That was an absolute big part. They both made sacrifices for each other. I will say there's one moment in the movie where, well, it was on Earth, but when the headquarters, I guess we'll say, when it just explodes, I did not expect that. I'm like, whoa, that was unexpected. That was very unexpected. And then I'll say this: I was on the edge of my seat during that whole sequence from when, you know, when they're going to the other, what was it? Was it planet? I think it was it a planet? Yeah, it was a planet. What am I saying? When they go to other planet and they need to kind of like get the sample, you know what I mean? And then like a lot of things, they knew a lot of things could go wrong, and it was looking good. You're like, okay, cool, they're gonna do it, and then no, all this stuff goes wrong, and then you see Ryland, he has to almost, right, like die, almost sacrifice himself in order to make sure the sample is safe and sound inside, the ship. And then once he gets inside, okay, everything should be fine. Nope. What was it? Was it one of the engines? Anyways, it catches on fire, part of the ship, and everything starts going downhill. And he's trying to save it, but no, he can't. He can't. And then he gets like knocked out, unconscious, and he's about to die. And then I'm like, oh no, I know where it's going. He's trying. He couldn't do anything, right? He's unconscious. And then you see Rocky go out of his let's just call it like his bubble wrap, right? Because we know the whole oxygen thing. They have different, you know, so they gotta have their own, like, yeah, they can't breathe each other's air essentially. Like the different atmosphere stuff. So Rocky has to get out of the wrap, and we know that if he gets out of it, he's gonna die. And Rocky still does it. And that just shows, man, look at where they came from in the beginning of the movie to now. And then I guess fast forward a little bit later in the movie, you then see Rocky, or yeah, they both part their, like Rocky and Ryland, they kind of like successfully, you know, do what they need together, and then they go their own ways. And then Ryland realizes, oh shoot, Rocky needs me. And then he goes back all the way. He's like, I'm not gonna be able to go back to Earth. I can only do one or the other. And then he obviously decides, without any hesitation, to go back for Rocky. Right? So it's beautiful stuff there. And I mean, I guess I'll talk about the ending now. The ending of the movie, we see Ryland and Rocky, and they're just chilling on the beach, kind of like how they were talking about earlier on in the movie. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting because they're not on Earth. We know they're not on Earth. There's no way they can be on Earth. But I'm like, okay, so Ryland still breathe, like he's still able to breathe. And I'm like, I remember the thing earlier in the movie that they explained with the whole like what Rocky could do with kind of like the oxygen type stuff. I'm like, okay. And then, but you see Rocky then, he's still in the bubble wrap. I'm like, wait, this is confusing. This means the air is not suitable for him, right? So unless I misinterpret the ending, as far as I'm aware, they're on what's the planet name? What's Rocky's planet name? Like El Elf not Alfred. Eford? Ifred? Ifred? I forget the name, my bad. But they're actually on Rocky's planet, right? And then you see him, and then you see obviously they kind of like pan the camera over and you see or well it cut actually, and then you see all the other like like civilization or whatever you want to call them, like species, like all Rocky's pretty much like all his friends. And then you see Ryland just teaching them, and it kind of comes full circle because the movie starts off near the beginning of the movie starts off of Ryland just teaching a class full of kids, and also I love how throughout the movie it's a small little detail, but you see the ball, right? The ball, which is like I don't know I don't know what the word of it or what the word is called, but that ball they uses, which is supposed to be lava, but it's actually just like a ball that represents the Earth. The way it just like the meaning kind of shifts and morphs, but it also stays the same at the same time throughout the movie. And then I mean, it's just great. This is great. And there was a low key part in the ending where I think Rocky says to Ryland, "Oh, like we're almost ready to get you back to Earth." I'm pretty sure, right? So that kind of confirms too. But it's like it leaves the ending open, pretty much up to interpretations, like ambiguous, and it's just for you. Like, do you think Ryland will go back to Earth or no? Because it would like is I mean pretty much it sets the table that okay it's a possibility like he can like if he wanted to he could essentially, and I don't think he would. Because he's found his place. He's at peace. If he really wanted to go to Earth that bad, he wouldn't have went back for Rocky, a bit before that, right? Because he had to make that choice there, and that kind of proves what he valued more. Because he didn't really have anyone, right, on Earth, not really. Besides, obviously, like his boss on the operation, and I forget her name, but he didn't really actually have anyone. So that was very interesting. Like he wouldn't, like I don't see him going back. I feel like he's just gonna stay there. He loves what he does. He loves it there, and yeah, like brings him happiness and everything, right? Which you couldn't really say before that, right? His life before that. So it's very interesting because it's like in some ways, he was kind of like reborn. You know what I mean? But yeah, now I guess I mean, I kind of talked about the story there, and let me say this: Ryan Gosling, like his performance was absolutely stellar. Like I was kind of alluding at earlier in the video, he needs to get a Best Actor nomination. And I know the movies this year, like there's a lot of good movies, especially like there's gonna be a lot of killer performances. So it might be tough, but man, come on. I hope he gets it. No one else could have done this performance. So, like I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. Genuinely, no one else could. Like I said, it was exactly like it was written for him, written in mind, like written for him. I can't even make it up. And the score. Let me talk about the score now. And also, like I did like some of the other characters. Let me remember their names. Like Carl, I like Carl, but I'm not gonna lie. That scene where where he pretty much like he just gets betrayed by all of them. Even though it's kind of like reconciled by the end, it's still kind of rubbing the wrong way. I'm like, bro, come on. They had such a good thing going. And I will say this one scene with like the boss of the whole operation, where her and Ryland are kind of like finally like she's being less of a boss and more so like personal, you know what I mean? Like more of like a human in a way, right? And then you see her like they were talking about the karaoke thing and then etc. And then she goes and does the karaoke thing and she sings the hairstyle song, right? What was it? Sign the Times. And let me just say this, a perfect choice, a perfect, like, I just love the fact that that was included in the marketing as well, the song, and obviously it's also in the movie, because look at the lyrics, and then as she's singing a certain section of the lyrics, like certain bits of it, she's looking at Ryland, right? And the lyrics that she's singing were like, everything will be all right, like pretty much we'll see each other like somewhere else, or something along the lines of that, right? Like we'll see elsewhere, we'll see each other elsewhere or somewhere, like, don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. And as you watch the movie from there, right, what happens by the end, right? She does see him elsewhere because he then ends up sending all the recordings, the clips, and then also like what was it, whatever, like samples he has, etc., to her, right? So yeah, just interesting stuff there, and yeah, I like that. That was a pretty good part, and the singing was very good as well. I guess let me talk about the score now. The score was so good. The score was absolutely amazing. Let me say that. And the score was so good, actually, the fact where I had to kind of take myself out of the movie to think about the score, because I was so locked in with the movie that I wasn't realizing. I wasn't realizing about the score because the score was literally adding on to it. So much to the fact that I thought it was like embedded into the movie. Does that make sense? Like the score is so good, I didn't realize how good it was because it had me that locked in, essentially. And I had to kind of extract myself from it and be like, wait, people are saying the score so good. And I thought about like, it just like it crossed my mind because it was so like I was like hypnotized, if that makes sense. So yeah, like it kind of like was like a out of body experience to say the least. And cinematography slash visuals, that Greg Fraser. Like, let's be honest, when does this man miss? He doesn't. Okay, he doesn't. And after seeing this, it just further cements the fact that I'm not gonna lie, I'm cheesed. I'm cheesed that he's working on the Beatles movies. It's kind of I mean, obviously, go do what you want, get your payday. Obviously, you might just want to do this out of like, different type of challenge, ambition. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I really like seeing him working like on these type of movies and stuff, and like Dune, Batman. So yeah, it was kind of cheesy, like realizing that, oh wait, this is so beautiful. Like, just he does such a stellar job as always, and then yeah, now he's working on the Beatle movies, like what, the four of them. So that's yeah, but still, he did a fantastic job. Like the shots in this movie are absolutely great. The visuals as well. I mean, like, is it not insane how good the movie looked? And let me say this. Let me preface this by saying I didn't even watch the movie in IMAX. I wish I could, but unfortunately, I was unable to. And even then, the visuals were still stunning, and the audio as well. They really packed a punch. And like I said, yeah, like the puppeteering of Rocky, great. I like, you wouldn't even know it, and it helps so much that it was literally like practical, right? Like the most of the movie was or all of the movie was pretty much practical. So like it helped with the set piece as well, of course, and Rocky especially. Really, like I think if Rocky was like CGI or whatever, complete CGI, etc., like over reliantly CGI, it wouldn't have been the same. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it would have. And like I said, the relationship between Rocky and Ryland, great. Like when you have them mimicking each other, and then when just a whole bunch of great moments. Like there's comedy because Rocky's just kind of just says whatever Rocky thinks, right? So it's pretty wholesome. It's pretty wholesome. That's all I can really say. Um, and then let me see here. Yeah, like I talked about the relationship, and yeah, like Ryan Gosling, charismatic. We already talked about that. Yeah, the movie's heartbreaking, uplifting. A lot of moments in the movie where he's literally, doubting himself. He's like, I can't do this, I can't do this, and then he ends up doing it, right? Like he couldn't even think. He said, I can't even do what was it, like the moon walk or whatever, like the walk, like the space walk, etc. And then guess what? I mean, even though it's out of necessity, he ends up doing everything he pretty much said he couldn't do, right? And in the end of the movie, it's kind of like a whole big storyline that he's kind of weak, right? But then no, he becomes brave. And in the beginning of the movie, he's talking about, oh, I'm not brave like you guys, the astronauts and everyone else. And even Rocky, he says like, I'm not brave, I'm not like that. And but Rocky's like, no, you're brave. And by the end of the movie, you see that pay off. So like a lot of times, like so many subtle things in the movie where they pay off in the end, and it just makes like I said, the ending more satisfying. And this is kind of something that I want, but it would be cool if we got like if by the off chance that editors watch this video, bro, I need that David Bowie Heroes edit. I need that. I need that. It would hit for this. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, and then let me see here. The pacing, the movie did not feel long at all. I'm gonna be honest. Like I feel like this movie does such a good job of making sure you're, first of all, you're like your experienced movie like this. You're immersed in it, and also making you feel like you're actually in space. You're in a whole different world, essentially, which you, I mean, literally are. But this movie actually does a good job of making you feel like it. And I'm like, damn, I didn't want the movie to end. I'm like, damn, I'm kind of upset. But it was very, very good. And I know some people were saying like, oh man, the beginning 40 minutes or something, or starts off slow. I would argue the opposite. Like those first 40 minutes are crucial, and I don't feel like they felt slow. It felt fine. I mean, it was needed, and it wasn't like it was boring or anything either. Because a lot of the stuff that's in those first 40 minutes really pays off in the end. You know what I mean? And like the movie, like what was it, 2 hours and 40 minutes, I think, somewhere around there. Does not feel like that. I'll tell you that much. At least for me, it didn't feel like that. It felt like it was perfectly paced. Like everything that was in the movie, I felt like that was crucial to the story. And yeah, like I don't know if I mentioned this before, but didn't read the book going into this, right? So I have no clue. And I know obviously the book is like way longer than the movie, of course. So they obviously had to consolidate it, trim out a lot of the stuff. So I wonder if there's like, let me know in the comment section down below if you read the book, and if there's like, if you did, if there's like any key differences between the book and this and the movie, because there probably are, right? And yeah, I mean, that's about it. I overall I mean, I love this movie. This movie is, if I were to rate this on Letterboxd, I'd give this a 5 out of 5. So pretty much meaning like 100% on this movie, right? Like this is like I would say it's a perfect movie. This is probably a masterpiece, honestly. And it's kind of insane to think about, because I mean those are pretty big words, right? But yeah, like I'm still thinking about this movie even after watching it hours ago, right? Like I said, after I was done watching it at the theater, I was still thinking about it, which is pretty rare for me. And then even now I'm still thinking about it, right? So it just goes to show like there's really effect. And like I said, the way the world is currently, this is a much needed movie, right? It's like I said, uplifting, inspiring, hopeful, all these other things, right? Like it helps discuss and combat loneliness, which a lot of people are feeling, right? Like you're not alone. Like there's someone out there for you and stuff like that. And like yeah, I feel like these are all perfect, timely type of themes and subject matters, right? Which are just packed into a movie that's about, I mean, kind of saving the world, right? And space and stuff like that. And like obviously, I mean, this rock creature, right? So like, yeah, it's done in a very interesting way. And let me just emphasize this by saying that if you can only go to one movie a year and you want to watch a obviously you want to watch a really good movie, this is the movie to watch. Like this movie will be worth it. If you want to watch one a year and you're trying to go for like a really good movie, this is it. This is one that's worth spending your money on, experiencing the theaters. It's just wonderful. It's a wonderful experience that honestly, watching at home you can't really replicate, just because of the type of movie it is. Also, the visuals is a very big component to it, and it's just a crowd pleaser, right? That's all I can really say. Anyways, let me know what you think down below about Project Hail Mary. Do you like this movie? Have you seen it? Have you not? And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next one. Peace.